Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily Jashinsky, host of After Party and the Megyn Kelly Wrap-Up Show on SiriusXM Channel 111. It's Thursday, November 13th, 2025. This is your AM Update.
When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country.
After a record 43 days, the House passes the Senate-backed spending bill and the government officially reopening with President Trump's signature.
We're talking about 3 in 4 Americans, 75% overall, who say Trump's not paying enough attention to lowering costs.
Team Trump brainstorming plans to boost voter confidence on Trump's handling of the economy. 11 states facing power grid warnings amid a geomagnetic storm caused by powerful solar flares. And JFK's grandson, with a bizarre social media presence, takes up the family biz, announcing a run for Congress. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update.
As President Trump is settling into his new administration, one of the top Democrats in Congress aiming to undermine the Trump agenda is Senator Dick Durbin. And according to our sponsor, the Electronic Payments Coalition, Senator Durbin has a new scheme, a government takeover of your credit card. Today, Americans have thousands of choices in credit cards, but they say Senator Durbin's plan will result in less competition and less security. And that means more risk for your credit and identity. Learn more at guardyourcard.com and consider telling your senators to stop Dick Durbin's government takeover of your credit card before it's too late.
The government officially reopening last night after a record 43-day shutdown, with President Trump signing the spending package into law shortly after its passage in the House. Mr. Trump delivering remarks upon signing.
This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country.
The final House vote on the Senate-backed bill tallying 222 to 209, with 2 GOP no votes in Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Congressman Greg Steube of Florida, and 6 Democrat yes votes. The deal, passed by the Senate late Sunday evening, keeps most of the government funded at current levels through January 30th. Certain parts of the government, including the Agricultural Department, FDA, and Veterans Affairs, fully funded through September 30th. Even if Congress fails to pass budget bills in January, the SNAP program, which provides food assistance for low-income families, will remain funded through September under this agreement. Democrats waging the shutdown fight in hopes of forcing an extension of Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. Republicans holding firm, with Senate Majority Leader John Thune instead promising to bring a vote on the issue next month. That bill would need 60 votes to pass in the Senate, and would then head to the House, where it faces resistance from House Speaker Mike Johnson. Team Trump looking to boost Americans' confidence in the president's handling of the economy, reports CNN, as new polls show increasing anxiety among voters about affordability. A Wednesday poll from the Associated Press showing only 33% approve of Mr. Trump's managing of the federal government, down from 43% in March, largely driven by declining support among Republicans and independents. On the economy, the president's approval rating dropping from 40% in March to 33% this month. President Trump casting economic anxiety as fake news, one recent example Friday from the Oval.
Prices are down under the Trump administration, and they're down substantially. Energy prices are down by 30, 35, 40%. Gasoline is way down. And the other big thing is inflation is way down. The fake news yesterday, they talked about that. They said, I don't want to talk about affordability. The reason I don't want to talk about affordability is because everybody knows that it's far less expensive under Trump than it was under sleepy Joe Biden.
CNN's chief data analyst Harry Enton on Wednesday flagging the growing concern among voters.
Donald Trump might be trying to downplay voters' concerns about affordability, but I'm here to tell you that is a ginormous error. It may be an error that goes down in political infamy. Why do I say that? Well, the reason Donald Trump was elected was to fix the problem of inflation. Right back in October of 2024, who was more trusting inflation? It was Donald Trump by 9 points over Kamala Harris. But look at where we are today. Donald Trump is underwater with the Titanic when it comes to inflation. His net approval rating is 26 points underwater. My goodness gracious. We're talking about 3 in 4 Americans, 75% overall, who say Trump's not paying enough attention to lowering costs. And even among Republicans, that solid Republican base who oftentimes approves of Trump's job by 85, 90%, 57% of them say that Trump's not paying enough attention to lowering costs.
Earlier this week, a new survey from the Washington Post finding 7 in 10 Americans say their grocery costs have risen in the last year. CNN reporting Trump advisors acknowledge they have an affordability and a messaging problem, even as the White House points to declining inflation rates and costs for some items like food and gas. One idea under discussion, ramping up President Trump's U.S. travel and increasing economy-focused speeches touting the White House's domestic agenda and effort to bring down costs ahead of the holidays. As the White House grapples with economic messaging, President Trump upsetting the MAGA base again this week. On Tuesday, Mr. Trump igniting the base again with comments on H-1B visas. The H-1B visa program is designed for foreigners with highly specialized knowledge in a particular field. The MAGA tent divided on the issue. Tech CEOs like Elon Musk arguing the program is essential for keeping the U.S. competitive in high-skill industries. Others insisting it is often abused by employers to cut labor costs, taking away jobs from qualified Americans. Laura Ingraham on Fox pressing the president on the subject.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent.
We have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles.
Yesterday morning on Fox News, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent attempting to recontextualize President Trump's answer.
For years, 20, 30 years, we have offshored precision manufacturing jobs. And the president's point here is, we can't snap our fingers and say, you're going to learn how to build ships overnight. We want to bring semiconductor industry back to the U.S. There are going to be big facilities in Arizona. So I think the president's vision here is to bring in overseas workers where these jobs went.
Who have skills.
Who have the skills, 3, 5, 7 years to train the U.S. workers. Then they can go home. The U.S. workers fully take over.
So do you understand the concern that people have? Hey, an American could have that job. Why you give it to a guy from India?
But an American can't have that job.
So it's specific skills.
Because we haven't built ships in the U.S. for years. We haven't built semiconductors. So this idea of overseas partners coming in, teaching American workers, then returning home, that's a home run.
The controversy underscoring a deepening divide between the America First populists and the tech wing of the movement, with midterms just 1 year away. Coming up, a massive geomagnetic storm putting 11 states on notice for possible power grid warnings, and JFK's grandson announces a run for Congress.
I've been talking a lot about Riverbend Ranch lately because I love their steaks. Riverbend Ranch has taken Black Angus beef to a whole new level. For the last 35 years, Riverbend Ranch has been creating a very elite Angus herd by using ultrasound to select genetically superior cattle with a focus on flavor and tenderness. When you buy from Riverbend Ranch, you are not only supporting the 64 cowboys and cowgirls and their families who work on the ranch, but you're also supporting over 260 other U.S. ranches and the hundreds of American families who work on them. It is born in the USA, raised in the USA, and processed in the USA. It is aged to perfection for 21 days and shipped directly from the ranch to your home. This is not your average Black Angus beef. So order from riverbendranch.com. Use the promo code Megyn for $20 off your first order and let me know what you think. riverbendranch.com, promo code Megyn.
A massive geomagnetic storm bearing down on the Earth, sparking power grid warnings across 11 states. Though the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, says the most intense phase is over. According to NOAA, the storm peaking at G4 intensity on Wednesday, meteorologist Max Schuster, who goes by Max Velocity, breaking down the storm scale in a video posted to X.
Space weather storms are rated on a scale from G1 to G5, with G1 being minor and G5 being extreme. This one is forecasted to reach G4 level, which is very severe. This is just one step below the most powerful type of geomagnetic storm. These storms can cause a ton of different problems, including disrupting GPS signals, causing radio blackouts, and even creating voltage spikes in power grids. But these storms can also bring incredible northern lights. And keep in mind, a G1 storm usually doesn't bring northern lights much further south than Canada, but we're talking about a G4 storm, which means that northern lights could be visible as far south as Texas and Georgia. This powerful event is being driven by coronal mass ejections, which are also called CMEs. A CME is a massive burst of charged solar particles racing towards Earth. When those particles hit our magnetic field, they can trigger brilliant light shows and temporary tech disruptions. Storms like this only happen a few times a decade and are very difficult to predict in advance.
Space.com reporting the solar flare causing the CME was the strongest one of 2025 so far, causing radio blackouts across parts of Europe and Africa earlier this week. Forecasters predict the intensity will reduce throughout today from severe to strong, dwindling to minor by tomorrow. Grid warnings in place across northern states: Oregon, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. As for what's causing this intense activity, NPR reporting, quote, "The sun is going through a major facelift. Every 11 years, its poles swap places, causing magnetic twists and tangles along the way." An effect of this intense solar activity, the northern lights, typically only visible at the Earth's poles, now appearing much farther south. The dazzling colors forming when particles from the sun slam into Earth's magnetic field. Space.com reporting colorful auroras seen in the sky as far south as Mexico. President John F. Kennedy's only grandson, Jack Schlossberg, announcing on Tuesday a run for New York's 12th congressional district, currently occupied by 78-year-old Democrat Congressman Jerry Nadler, who is retiring at the end of this term. Here, part of Schlossberg's announcement posted to social media.
My name is Jack Schlossberg, and I'm running for Congress to represent my home, New York's 12th congressional district, where I was born and raised. I'm not running because I have all the answers to our problems. I'm running because the people of New York 12 do. I want to listen to your struggles, hear your stories, amplify your voice, go to Washington, and execute on your behalf. There is nowhere I'd rather be than in the arena fighting for my hometown. Over the next 8 months, during the course of this campaign, I hope to meet as many of you as I can. If you see me on the street, please say hello. If I knock on your door, I hope we can have a conversation, because politics should be personal. Thanks. More to come soon, and I'll see you on the trail, New York 12.
The 32-year-old Democrat holds law and business degrees from Harvard. Prior to the 2024 election, Schlossberg was named political correspondent for Vogue in a glossy spread where he referred to himself as, quote, "a fun, wacky guy. I'm a silly goose who's just trying to get the truth out there." Under Schlossberg's byline, a total of 7 articles, including a transcript of his speech at the 2024 Democrat National Convention. Post-college, Schlossberg worked for a short period of time in Japan, where his mother, Caroline Kennedy, was serving as U.S. ambassador. Beyond the glitzy, glowing magazine profiles, Schlossberg's own, less carefully managed, image on social media is at times bizarre and cruel. Earlier this year, Schlossberg receiving a wave of criticism after posting a video mocking his cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s degenerative voice condition.
Hey everybody, I'm trying to figure out the right present to get Donald Trump for the inauguration, so I found a really rare animal and killed it, and I'm gonna give it to him.
Schlossberg routinely criticizes his cousin on a both political and personal level, at times the Kennedy scion firing off bizarre posts, including this one from January, quote, "True or false, Usha Vance is way hotter than Jackie O," his grandmother. Schlossberg then following up with, quote, "I'm a literal pervert. I called my grandmother hot. Have I totally lost it?" Schlossberg continuing the post in third person, quote, "Jesus, this kid will do anything for attention. Your grandfather would be ashamed. Seriously, time to get a job," end quote. To win this job, Schlossberg campaigning against at least 3 other declared candidates, the primary set for June of next year. That'll do it for your AM update. I'm Emily Jashinsky, host of After Party. Megyn is back tomorrow. Catch the Megyn Kelly Show live on SiriusXM's The Megyn Kelly Channel 111 at noon East on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly and all podcast platforms.